Welcome back to Unsolved Mysteries. The jungle is not quiet. If you stand in the ruins of the ancient Mayan cities at night, you don't just hear the wind. You hear the echoes of 1,000 years of fear. For the last 4 days, we have looked at the achievements of ancient history. But today, we are hacking through the dense jungles of Central America to look at the horrors. Today is episode 5 of our journey. We are investigating the dark side of the Maya civilization obsessed with death, the underworld, and human sacrifice. We need to answer the most terrifying question in history. Why did millions of people suddenly abandon their cities and run into the forest, never to return? Let's step into the darkness. To understand the fear, you have to look underground. Deep in the Yucatan jungle lie the cenotes. To tourists today, these are beautiful swimming holes. But to the ancient Maya, these were portals to Xibalba, the place of fright. The Underworld. Archaeologists have dredged these wells and found nightmares at the bottom. They didn't just find pottery or gold. They found skeletons, hundreds of them. Men, women, and countless children. Their bones tell a gruesome story. They show signs of ritual execution. These weren't burials. These people were thrown into the dark water while still alive, screaming in the darkness as an offering to the monsters below. The Maya believed the gods were constantly hungry. To keep the sun rising, they believed they had to feed it precious water, their word for human blood. This wasn't a metaphor. Their priests, often dressed in the flayed skins of their victims, would drag captives to the top of the steep limestone pyramids. In front of a roaring crowd of thousands, they would use obsidian knives to cut the still beating heart out of a living chest. The body would then be rolled down the stone steps, painting the temple walls in fresh blood. This happened for centuries, but then something went wrong. Around the year 900 AD, the sacrifices stopped working. The rains didn't come. The crops withered and died. The jungle began to close in on them. And then the panic started. In cities like Aguateca, we see evidence of a terrified evacuation. Walls were built in a frenzy, cutting right through main streets, as if they were trying to keep something out. We find stones scattered on the ground, dropped by workers who were running for their lives. They didn't pack their bags. They didn't bury their dead. They left the food on the tables and the tools on the workbenches. They just ran. What were they running from? Historians will tell you it was a drought or a war. But the local legends tell a different story. They say the portals to Xibalba opened too wide. They say that the more blood the priests spilled, the hungrier the gods became, until the entities they worshipped turned on them. Have you ever heard the sound of the death whistle? It is a skull-shaped instrument found in ancient graves in this region. When you blow into it, it doesn't sound like a flute. It sounds exactly like the scream of a tormented human being. Imagine standing in the dark jungle, surrounded by enemies, and hearing thousands of those screams coming from the trees. Was it psychological warfare? Or were they trying to mimic the sounds of the demons they feared? Today, the local guides will warn you. They tell tourists not to stray from the path after dark. They talk about the Alex's small, mischievous spirits that guard the ruins. But they also talk about shadows that move between the trees, watching you. The Maya left their cities intact. They left their history behind. They chose to live in the jungle in poverty rather than stay one more night in the cities of stone. As we look at the moss-covered face of the death god Apuch carved into the temple walls, we have to wonder, did the Maya vanish? Or were they consumed by the very darkness they tried to control? The jungle keeps its secrets, but if you listen closely to the wind, you can still hear the screams. Like the video, subscribe to my channel, and do not miss to press the bell icon so you do not miss any video of mine.